All right, hi everyone, and welcome to All About the Bars Part 2. Last week's call blew me the hell away. That was really, really fun, and some of the things that I said on that call were some of the things that I've forgotten that I did really, really well. So I've gone back to doing them, and it's just been so much fun. I'm so grateful for the energy of all of you bars facilitators. There's so much potency between all of us, and sometimes it goes and we don't always use it to create what we know we can create. So this is one of the ways that I'm looking to create more for all bars facilitators. So I'm really grateful for you for being on the call today and listening in the future. So and my beautiful co-star, co-host, co-partner in crime is not here yet. But today we're going to talk about 3 topics that I had talked about last week, and I felt like last week's call was so potent that we didn't even get to everything. I could have talked for a year on some of the things that were just touched on. So I wanted to expand in a couple of areas. So the first one is space in marketing. The second is energetic congruency, which is the one that I'm most excited for. And the third is business, just general business. And a lot of the tools that I'm going to be teaching you guys about today come from Gary Douglas's call, 12 Steps to Creating a Business That Works for You, which he actually did in December 2012. I think it was about $485, and it's probably the best telecall he's ever done on business because it takes tools and steps that you have to implement into your business, and it's just, they're phenomenal steps. Just one second here. I want to actually, like, if you have the means to get the telecall, the 12 steps to creating a thriving business, absolutely do so. And if not, well, I mean, it's like, what would it take? And choose it and create it, because that call provided me with tools. I listened to each of those calls 7 times, and it was a 7-part series, so that was 49 times. And I'm not talking about while I slept. I listened to them during the day. I had my pens and paper, I had my notepads in front of me, and I studied. And the first 4 times, I couldn't even hear the calls when I listened to them. Like, I couldn't even, it was like, I'd hear maybe 1 or 2 things. It was like gibberish. And then I listened and listened, and it's created this place where I actually have created a huge, huge business, basically from nothing, and use that business to create my life. So that's just a little plug for that call. It's wonderful. And you can get that in the Access shop. So today we're going to talk about, the first thing I want to talk about, we'll start with the business category. So one of the tools I'm going to pose to you guys is this question: what can I be or do different today to create more money right away? Or you could insert, to expand my business right away. And you really want to live by that question, because I think of it this way. It's like, have you ever had like an in-law or somebody that you just hated and you didn't get their reality and they were just cruel and mean? Okay, so that's a yes. We have giggles. Okay, so we have some volunteers waving their hands. Let me just put these headphones in, get a bit better sound for you guys. So you know how you have those relatives that are cruel and evil and you don't understand their reality? Everybody has a completely different reality, right? And when you try to do something differently, or just change your path a little bit, like improve upon what you're already doing, you can only get better than, this limited pile of shit you've already created. And if you are willing to do something completely different, that's how you will create a completely different business. And what I was saying with like the relative, it's like they are so different from you, you can't even fathom them. And what are doing might be mean or good. It doesn't matter. It's just get that idea of like how different their world would be than your world. And it's like, and maybe a mean person wasn't a very good example because that's not really where I was going with this example. But it's like, I wanted you to get like the person that you didn't understand. It's like, what things are so far out of your realm of possibility that you would have to totally ask for them out of the universe's ass for them to show up, because they're so different than what you would normally choose. So, and that's what I'm trying to get to. I'm not sure how mean relatives got us there, but anyways, so Mary's laughing. So what can I be or do different today to expand my business right away? That'll be the clearing we'll go with. And everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Cool. Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So that's the really good tool that you'll want to use. And that's sort of where you start looking at, what's the greatest result that I could possibly create? Like if there were no autoresponders, if there were no, the conclusions about how you already do things or what you don't know, what could you be or do different to create the greatest result possible with your business? And the greatest result possible is actually not a conclusion. It's a question. I must have been different, or, I'm sure you've all used the tools before coming to Access. One of the places that I used the tools wonderfully before I came to Access was, I remember like being a kid and a teenager, and I knew that there was some law out there that would help me if I asked it to help me. And so I would go around being like, it wasn't a question necessarily. It was like I assumed that the greatest thing would be created. So it's like, where have you assumed that the worst thing will be created? And everything that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, all 9 pod, poc, shorts, boy, man. So it was cool, and it brought me to where I wanted to go, always having the assumption that the universe would bring me the greatest result. So what can you be or do different to create something that you never even imagined possible? Like, go all the way to left field. Look at the people you hate. Look at the people you love that you think you're nothing like. It's like, what in their world could you pull and apply to your bar's business? And everything that doesn't allow you to pull that, to create that, to institute that, will you destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, all 9, poc and pod, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Okay, so that's business. And we'll talk more about that. I'll touch on each one. Yeah, we have a question. Go ahead.
So I live with my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She's 9 to 5. She's of this reality, and you have to save and all of those things. And so when you say pull from her reality, what can I pull?
Well, not necessarily. I'm talking about just pulling things that work for you. Like, is she really productive in a day?
Yeah.
So, like, what would it take?
In her world, she is.
What would it take for you to be as productive as her?
Oh.
Would that increase your business?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily about.
So here's an example. She's doing her master's.
Mm-hmm.
So her idea of doing her master's is to study all through the night, and so I'm helping with looking after the kids and all of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I was doing my master's, I would use the Access tools to pull energy and do all of those things.
Right. So it's not about her method. It's not about working hard as being productive. It's like at the end of the day, does she have a lot of shit done?
For her, yes.
Yeah. So it's not about the method that it took her to get there. It's about the fact that at the end of the day, she got a lot of shit done. So you can still get a lot of shit done, and you can use your reality.
Okay.
So everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy it and create it all?
Okay. Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, It kind of goes along the same principle where Gary says, duplicate Donald Trump's money, but don't duplicate his hairdo. You can have one result in a person, but it doesn't mean you need to take all the crazy shit that comes with them. So yeah, it's like, I guess the point I was trying to make with look at somebody you hate, it's like, if you judge them as hating them, you can't look at the things that actually work in your life and apply them to your life because you've judged them as different than you. And as a conscious person, you have to have access to all energies, right? So if you're judging any energies, you can't use those energies. It's like, and there are examples of people doing this. This is a sort of a far-fetched example, but think about Steve Jobs and Bill Gates. So Bill Gates started the PC. Steve Jobs started the Mac before that. But Steve Jobs was willing to steal a whole bunch of different ideas from the PC. Like the mouse was a PC's idea. It's like you have to be willing to steal. Gary said to me one time, I said, I really wanted to move to Vancouver when I was 18, and my sister got a $100,000 scholarship, and she moved to Vancouver when she was 18, and my parents, I was stuck in Manitoba. I didn't want to be there. And I'm like, but it was my dream, and my sister got it. And then I named all these other dreams that I was asking for, and she had actualized. And he's like, well, that's because your sister's smarter than you, Julia. And I was like, no, she wasn't. I had better grades than her. And he's like, no, honey. She was willing to steal your dreams. You're not willing to steal hers. Therefore, she's smarter than you. So who are you unwilling to steal from? So anywhere you promise to be moral, correct, right, will you destroy and uncreate all that times a godzillion? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod and poc, shorts, boys, and beyond. Yeah. So steal the good parts. Steal the stuff that will work for you. You can cherry pick your entire life. You don't have to have the bad with the good. You can just take the things that you like. It's all about cherry picking. So everywhere you're not willing to cherry pick from the tree of possibilities, will you destroy and uncreate all that?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, poc and pod, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Cool. So does that clear things up, Jackie?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. Wonderful. Okay, so that's a little bit about business. And then the next thing is space in marketing. So this is a very, very big this is a big excitement in my world. I love marketing and I love aesthetics and I love the way things look. So as a bars facilitator, you have to at least have a flyer, or if you're doing Facebook, you have to learn a little bit about aesthetics. And Gary actually talks about aesthetics more than people realize in level 2 and 3 classes. He pretty much touches on it all the time, but he has it sort of intertwined because he likes to make people have their own awareness and fish for things themselves. So I've really taken this concept of space in marketing and really studied it and really studied what he says. And I think I found things that nobody else has ever found before. And so I'm really excited to share my secrets with you about space in marketing. And me and Brett talked a little bit last week about how Steve Jobs would take out like a full page ad for Apple, and all there would be the Apple symbol in the middle and a little contact at the bottom of the page. So that's what you want to do in advertising. And I'm in the marketing, I'm doing a marketing program coming up in the new year. It's called the Telecall on how to create a telecall. I mentioned it last time. I think that's really funny. But it's going to be all about marketing. Telecalls is one part out of like 8. And I'm going to take different ads and we're going to look at what doesn't work and what does work, because so many people think that you need to have the name, the title, the times of the class, the date of the class, a little bit of a description of the class on your graphics or on your posters or even in your emails. And you never want to do that. You want to put one thing that pulls people in. because you can't, it's the same as pulling energy and pushing energy, which as bars facilitators, we all know. Having a full ad is pushing energy. It's saying, this is when it is. This is when to come. This is what to do. Da, 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 da. You need this to fix your life. As opposed to going, I had recently created a telecall for somebody, and they said that they wanted to talk about, they wanted to name the class how to support your family through tragedy or something like that. And I was like, no. I'm like, nobody can relate to that. Like, I mean, everybody I'm sure has gone through a tragedy, and I'm sure everybody's very supportive of their family, but it's like people don't look at that and go, that's something that's going to make my life infinitely better most of the time. So it's like, I'm like, well, what if you named it, Are You Willing to Be Immortal? Because this person did things that were they were totally nine trannies. They were far beyond things. Everybody wants to be immortal. So it's like making it smaller and picking the key parts that will pull somebody into your reality and into your universe. And most people don't have space in their lives. It's like, if you have the quiet, handsome gentleman in the corner at a party sipping his gin, all the women want to know about what he's doing and who he is, and he's a very valuable product. But if there's like a loud, obnoxious guy going, oh yeah, I'm the best, come to my class, this is what I do for a living, I'm a doctor, and it's like shut the fuck up, dude, I don't need you. But the man in the corner is very, very valuable because he's pulling you into his reality. Oh, Brett says he doesn't have the call-in details. Just one sec, guys. I just have to grab him the call-in details. Let's see here. So anyways, let me run a clearing while I'm doing this. So everything you've done to push rather than pull, will you destroy and uncreate it all? I hope you're nodding because I can't see you right now. So right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, POD and POC, shorts, boys and beyond. And anywhere people told you you were pushy when you were little, will you destroy and uncreate everything that brings up? Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, POD and POC, shorts, boys and beyonds. Oops. Okay, now I'm sending it. Oh, darn, that's the wrong link. Sorry, guys. This is a misunderstanding, which that is both Brett and I's fault. There we go. All right. Okay, I'm back to you guys. Okay, so, and anywhere you were quiet as a kid and you pulled people in, but you were made wrong for being shy. I hate it when people say to their little kids, oh, she's just being shy. It's like, it creates this weird space in their universe. So everywhere you were made wrong for just being shy, when actually you were pulling energy, will you destroy and uncreate that?
Yes.
Cool. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, POD, POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So when you're creating an ad, and the program that I use for all of my graphics is canva.com. It's amazing. Just go and play around. I'm sure most of you have already used it. If you haven't, I'll put it in the chat here. It's canva.com. It's for everyone. It is completely for everyone. It is totally user-friendly. I mean, if you can use a computer, you can use Canva. Their tagline is empowering the world to become designers, because anybody can become a designer of graphics. It's really beautiful. And a lot of it is free. You have to pay for some certain add-ons and stuff, but you can get away with a lot for free. Oh, Brett says the link is giving him an error. Darn, darn, darn. You know what? Can I put this on one of your guys' hands? I'm actually going to put Brett's email in here. And I'm sending everything to Mary Haynes privately. Whoops. Okay, Mary, I'm going to give you Brett's email. And would you send him the call-in details for the call that you got through MailChimp? Thank you. Okay, so I didn't put that into everybody. I put that into Mary. So canva.com. Okay, awesome. Okay, so so definitely go to Canva and play around. Don't get vested in the outcome. Don't try to do it perfectly. Go into Canva and just play and have fun. I didn't think that I was a graphic designer, and now I'm getting emails and messages from all over the world with people telling me that I have the best graphics they've ever seen on Facebook. So go on, play, have fun, make it lighthearted, and then and then start using it to create your business. And even if you're uncomfortable, selling to people, it's like just start creating beautiful graphics with quotes on them and throw those on your Facebook page. Just do it for fun, do it for arts and crafts, do it for being artistic, and see what you can create with it. So that's canva.com. So and you want to ask, when you create an ad or you create an image on Canva, you want to ask, is this ad the pushy doctor who's saying he's the best guy ever? Or is this ad the really sexy man in the corner drinking a gin who everybody's interested in? Okay? So that's how you can tell the difference. Go ahead, Jackie.
How long does it take you to set up? Is it hours and hours? Or?
No, it's like so fast. Mary's shaking her head here. It's like, I mean, it could not be easier. You go in, I think you have to put your name and email and stuff, make yourself a little account, and it keeps you logged in forever. You don't have to remember your login info. It's super easy. And then you just click on things, and you click on whether you want to make a Twitter post, a Facebook post, and you can use those images for anything. And even if you make something that doesn't necessarily say a Facebook post, you can still post on Facebook with it. You can use anything for anything. It just downloads into the files of your computer. So Canva is really important, and I think that every bars facilitator should know about it. Mary, did you happen to send that over yet? You did? Okay. Okay. So what was I going to say? So what energy, space, and consciousness can you be to be the greatest designer to be the greatest designer in all realities? And everything that doesn't allow that, times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod and poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. So, okay. So that's space and marketing. Well, there's lots more. Does anybody have any specific questions about space? It's really, and you also want to have your focal point in the right place. You want to ask, what's the focal point of this picture? The person that I know who's the best at being the focal point in the room is Gary's daughter, Grace. She pulls more energy than anybody I know, and she's always the focal point of the room. And so each of your ads you want to have a focal point, and you want that focal point to be clear. So like in the Steve Jobs ad, it's just space and a focal point. You want to have space and a focal point. And that doesn't mean this is always necessarily true, but you want to look at how things are arranged, and you just want to have a lot of class. So what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to be the classy designers you truly be? And everything that is, times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right and wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And anywhere you judge yourself as unclassy, will you destroy and uncreate all that, times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
What's Grace's last name?
Douglas. It's Gary's daughter.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So that's something. So look at your focal point. Look at how much space there is and ask, is this the classy gentleman in the corner, or is this the person that's obnoxious and yelling at everybody who's too drunk? Okay. Hey, it's Brett. We have Brett. We love Brett.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
You can hear me?
We can hear you.
Excellent. Do you hear lots of other sounds as well, or?
We just hear you.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep.
That's great. I'm in a car right now.
Awesome. So Brett, we basically just finished. We talked about business, and I was just posing the question to everybody: what can you be or do different today to create, to exponentialize your business right away, to grow your business right away? Those types of questions. And then we talked about space in marketing and not being the guy at the party who vomits on everybody and tells them all about how great they are, actually being like the person, I said the sexy man in the corner with a gin who's quiet, who every woman wants to know about. So I said, when you're making your advertisements, it's like, what would it take for you to pull that much energy rather than pushing energy?
Awesome. That's brilliant.
Yeah. So if you had anything to add to that, by all means.
That just sounds excellent. The thing I would like to say is if you're looking to create your bars business or your access business, the first thing you got to do is show up.
Do tell us more, sir.
Yes. Well, I will tell you. I was out shopping with Georgia when I got a call from Anthony saying, "Hey, Julie wants to know if you're going to come on the Zoom meeting." And I was like, "Huh, when is that?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll ask her and we'll see." And it was now. So yeah, I've frantically been trying to get Zoom on my phone and getting on since then.
Awesome. Well, you did good.
Thank you. So, but that brings up something. So how many of all of you have judged yourselves from the times where you've just totally messed up or spaced or done something wrong or done something to like destroy part of your business? And yeah. So all that is everywhere you've judged yourself for what you've chosen in the past, where you destroyed and created all.
Yes.
Cool. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pot, all nine shirts, boys, beyond.
Cool. I remember one of my first talks that I did was an Access intro, and 40 people actually came because I was speaking to a spirituality meetup group, and they were the scariest spiritual people I've ever met. And I forgot to destroy my projections and expectations, and everybody looked at me like I was crazy, and I couldn't get my words out. I could not speak. And I said to the room, "I've hit rock bottom. I don't know what to say." I said that out loud to them. And then I thought to myself, if I run out of the room right now, how much will that destroy my career? I was like, maybe I could just run out of the room and get into my car and drive away and never see these 40 people ever again. So you got to start somewhere.
That's awesome. Did you run out of the room? Or
I did not run out of the room. I actually had a friend who came up to the front and helped me facilitate and like just started running clearing statements on the room.
Nice.
It was a mess.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So all of the humiliating mistakes you think that you've made that are actually huge building blocks to a greater future, will you destroy it and create it all?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
And how many humiliating mistakes are you avoiding by not going full force on your access business?
Yes.
Which, by the way, the mistakes and those failures are some of the greatest things for creating future and your business and your awareness. So you would avoid those for what reason?
Beautiful.
And everything all that is times a godzillion, will you destroy and create it all?
Yes.
Cool, right, wrong, good, bad, product, land, short, pros, and beyonds. That is the exit. I know, it is okay.
That's wonderful. This morning, talking about being perfect or making mistakes, this morning I put up a video because Meredith Locker and I are doing a telecall for the Gentlemen's Club. We're going to do a book club and read the book pretty much word for word through the whole thing. And so I was like, I want to let people know about this. So I woke up this morning early and I snuck downstairs and I sat on the couch and I made a video. And then, so I posted it on Facebook and I had a couple of people sign up. It was really great. I was like, oh, cool. What a great video. And then I get a Skype call from my mom And she says, Julia, I just wanted to let you know that in your video, your makeup is smeared all over your face. You look terrible and your hair is messy. You should take that down right away. And I was like, oh. And I shrunk into myself. And then I thought, no, screw it. I had people sign up. People were grateful for the vulnerability and the space that I was being in the call. It was not about how I looked. So anywhere you're trying to wait for the perfect video, the perfect lighting, the perfect timing, the perfect graphics, the perfect this, making sure you show up perfectly, and then you never even show up, will you destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion.
Yeah.
Right and wrong, good and bad, all 9 podpoc shorts, boys and beyonds.
Yeah, usually when you try to manicure something and make it perfect, you end up manicuring yourself right out of it.
Oh, indeed you do, Brad. Indeed you do manicure yourself out.
I love that.
Awesome. Jackie had her hand up here. What's that? What's up, Jackie?
Cool.
I like his manicuring right out of it. So that's awesome. So on the 9th of December, I have an opportunity to speak to a group of probably about 60 women, and I have 5 minutes. And since they're all, small business owners, I wanted to give them some access tools to grow their business. And yet again, they are a group of humans, most of them. It's like, how am I going to, I hope I don't run out of the room.
Right?
So if you have any recommendations or suggestions.
No big deal. Allow yourself to do so bad that you could run out of the room. And then you'll probably end up doing wonderfully.
Yeah, one thing, Jackie, you might want to run is this process until then. What energy, space, and consciousness can I be to give the worst 5-minute presentation in all of history? And everything that doesn't allow that, in terms of Godzilla, you destroy and uncreate it all.
Yes.
Oh, I like that.
Cool. Good bad Panapaka Land Trip goes me on. So why do you run that one? Because what it actually does is it gives you the freedom to do terribly. And I've run this a lot on a lot of different public speaking things I've done, or like telecalls or anything where I'm like going to be in front of people. And it always gives me the freedom to be me. Like I was doing a special, like during an access level 2 and 3 class, like after class. And I just kept running. All right, what energy, space, and conscious can I be for this class to be the worst class of all time? And I ended up having so much fun, and just running that and getting clear of that energy. I just was able to just be more. I've ever been doing a class before.
Wow.
So there you go. And also, Jackie, would you also be willing to not have anything prepared, not have any tools written down or anything written down, and just ask, okay, what can these people hear now?
Oh.
And create, like Julie said earlier, all the projections, expectations, separations, judgments, and rejections as you're going on, and just see what comes out of your mouth, and you might be surprised.
When you said not to prepare, I got a jolt in my belly. Not prepare? Is he out of his mind?
Yes. Yes, I am.
Out of his mind. He spent $100,000 on access consciousness, destroying his mind.
Yeah. Totally. And that's the thing that really like all of those times where we're trying to figure out, okay, what do I say? Okay, first I'm going to go up there and I'm going to say, hey, how are you guys all doing today? And then I'm going to give them the tool, how does it get any better than this? And then I'm going to give them the tool, who does this belong to? And then I'm going to tell a funny anecdote. And then I'm going to say this and say that. And then by the time you actually say it, it's like, every word you say might feel like if you're just hitting up against a brick wall after brick wall. So what you do is when you actually, you might want to jot down a couple of tools that you could give, and go from the point of view of all right, I'm just going to speak to whatever these people can hear. Maybe it's going to be an access tool. Maybe I'll just story of my life. Maybe I'll just ask them questions. Whatever comes out, I know is going to be what they can hear. And so everywhere
So
you've...
much, that's awesome.
Oh, cool. You're welcome. Yeah. So everywhere you've decided not to trust yourself, would you be willing to destroy it and create all that?
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Cool.
Yes.
Good bed. Pat back on my church with you. Julie, do you have anything to add to that? Because I know you're freaking amazing.
Well, I have my 3-point check off list before I get in front of a group of people and talk. Not you guys, because you guys aren't crazy judgmental assholes. But when I'm getting up in front of crazy judgmental assholes, I have a checklist. It's my pre-crazy judgmental asshole checklist. And on the pre-crazy judgmental asshole checklist, I have these 3 little quick tools. Number 1 is to just make sure that all of my barriers are down. That's the equivalent of picturing them in their underwear. Just make sure that all of your barriers are down. And literally push them down. You can even push them down with your hands. And then the second is to pull energy, to pull massive amounts of energy from every person in the audience until they are falling over in their seat towards you because you've pulled at them so hard. And then the third is to just ask, what can these people receive? And using those tools, I give awesome speeches to judgmental assholes by just looking in everybody's eyes in the room and staying in the constant question of, what can I say to them that would change their life? What can I say right now that would change their life? And I look out at the crowd and I go, what would change their life? So those are my three tips.
Wow.
So, oh yeah, kind of 4, but the last one is parts 1 and 2. We have part 3, A and B.
So, Julia, when you're pulling energy, are you just doing this, pulling energy?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a muscle that you build, Jackie. It's like you learn it in level 1 in Access, or it'll be in the new foundation, and you just have to practice. It's not something you think about. It's like, even if you the way you'll get better at it is if you sit down and you take 5 minutes, even if you have to set the timer because your ADD will kick in before the 5 minutes are out, set the timer so that your ADD can't kick in, and just go, I'm going to pull energy through the whole universe, through my body, and out the back of me.
And it won't necessarily feel like anything, because that's where a lot of people get tripped up, is they're waiting to feel something, or they're waiting for it to look like it might in a movie with all these sparkles of light and stuff going into them. There's actually no effort in it. It's like you are energy. So just simply asking, okay, pull energy. Okay, I'm going to pull energy now. That will begin the pull of energy. And to know that you're doing it, you can go to a Starbucks or on a train or some place where there's a lot of people and just sit in the corner and just ask to pull energy. And you'll know you're pulling energy when people start turning around to look at you, even though they have no idea why they're doing it.
Yeah. And I just realized I sent you guys that energy pull exercise last week.
Oh yeah.
So use that.
I listen to that often. I think I'm making this more difficult than it needs to be, because my mind is saying I have to see something when I'm pulling it.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Well, you must have a problem in your life, so make sure that you keep making it difficult, because if you don't have a problem, Jackie, you'll die, and we want to keep you alive, so keep suffering. And everything Nat brought up, can we all destroy and uncreate it all?
Thank you.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 podpoc, shorts, boys and young. We have some questions in the chat. Brett, let's look at these for a sec here. I'll throw them at you. I have recently seen other facilitators putting their picture on their bars ads. What do you suggest on that? So I guess they're asking about putting your picture on advertising. What is your thoughts, Brett?
Kind of, I didn't quite get all of that. I'm in a parking lot at the moment, so I'm not getting all the...
That's okay.
stuff.
We're just asking about, do you suggest putting your picture on your bars ads?
Ask
I think Brett is cutting out because of the garage. I think he's saying ask what would create the most every time.
Life be like in 5 years.
Oh, you cut out completely.
Oh, whoops.
Maybe I'll just answer this one, and then when you're out of the parking garage.
I will be joining in about 3 minutes. I'm just going to get off, and then I'll reach you.
Awesome. Okay, so I would say for putting your picture on the bars ads, I would say it's totally ask the advertisement. Ask, if I add a picture, is that going to pull energy or is that going to push energy? Because sometimes it'll just be another thing that's going to make that page fuller and it's going to take away from space. But if you find it adds, if you find that it's a good focal point, then definitely add the picture. And you definitely want to get people used to your face regardless. No matter what you think of your face or how you judge yourself, anybody who has a conscious face or a semi-conscious face has a beautiful face. So make sure that you get used to people seeing your face. You can take awesome pictures on your iPhone. I've been photographing for other facilitators recently off of my iPhone. So you can do it on any phone. So it's really quite wonderful what we can do with the technology that we have. It doesn't have to be professional. And there's some really good photographers in Access who take pictures for people and they facilitate you. It's wonderful. So, okay, so that's with the pictures. I'm having a bars class and just going to get the word out locally. What would you suggest? I would pull energy, and I would do an intro talk before that. Really, like locally, sometimes it's a little bit harder. It's like you have to have a name if you're doing local. But if you don't have a name, I didn't have a name when I first started, and I literally just pulled energy. I use that energy ball exercise every single day. So I would pull energy from everybody in the town, and do an intro talk. And I'm going to ask you who, it's Susanna. So Susanna, have you done intro talks before? And do you have time to set up an intro talk? Because that's what I would do if I was you. And then Beata is asking, I just set up my tablet as my alarm clock. How does it get better than that? Thank you for Julia for this recording. Okay, awesome. You're very welcome, Beata. Okay, so that's answering all the questions. And Suzanne, if you want to give me more info on what you just said, I'd be happy to. Okay, so the last thing I want to talk about, which is the most exciting item on the agenda. Oh, we have a question. Okay. Oh, hey, Susanna.
Just put that out there about doing a class. And we've done, it's like some of the other facilitators have done tasters.
Yeah.
And I've done a taster before, like last year, and like no one they've come to the taster, asked questions, and that was it. I did it with a CF, and it hasn't been a go. So
okay. So what energy are you refusing?
Ooh.
That if you would choose it rather than refuse it, would allow you to be the most demanded bars facilitator in your area?
Oh gosh. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Everything that is times a godzillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Cool, right,
and that's the yucky energy.
It's disgusting. Yeah, and I totally get that.
Around in that, and it's yucky. It's like doesn't feel great.
Yeah. So everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, short, so
in fact, some of the other facilitators, I've talked to them, and like they don't even want to do anything locally. They like don't want to, and I'm like, yeah, but this is, I don't know. I do. It's and like
that's a really good point. Is never wait for somebody to work with you before you do something. You have to just choose on your own. Gary always talks about community and the idea of working with others. It's bullshit. Do what you're going to do. It's a utopian ideal. It sounds cold. Forget about everybody else. Do what you're going to do.
We took pictures outside. We did all this thing, and and it's like, oh, it was like, didn't end up to anything. And I just moved back to this area, and it's like, I just want to, I'm going to do a class and I made a list last night of people to personally, I listened to what you said about personally contacting people.
Yeah.
And then it's also like this morning in the hot tub, I was talking to this woman, and it's like, I didn't even know how to like tell her about it. You know,
Yeah.
and that's the other thing. It's like, it's like without feeling like, oh, it's wacky. So
Yeah.
I'm totally willing to have coffee with people, meet with people, do whatever.
Yeah. Well, access is really hard to explain to people, and I don't even try, because you can't fit it into people's limited realities, because it just doesn't fit, and then they end up thinking you're stupid. So all you can really say is it's a set of tools and processes that are really, really weird. They're probably the weirdest thing I've ever found, and they've made my life so much better than it ever has before. It's ever been before. And that's all you can say. You tell them about the result of your life being better.
Yeah.
Do not try to tell them about the method, because they'll think you're cuckoo cuckoo.
Yeah, one of the things that I found is really like that's been effective is actually just talking about what's changed in your life, how things used to be, how they are now, what you've seen change in other people, clients and other people who you've just seen, who you've met through Facebook, who you've met at classes. And that is really what seems to get people excited from what I've experienced and from what I've seen. Like literally going into explaining any of the methods or how things work, it doesn't really, that hasn't really worked. Nobody really cares how it works. And when you tell them that, it just gives them the place where they can just dismiss you and dismiss access from.
Great. Thank you.
Cool. You're welcome. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah, it's like, is there anywhere in your world where, how much energy are you using to stop yourself from being a celebrity, Susanna?
Oh, wow.
And everything that is times a godzillion. Will you destroy and uncreate it all?
And it's so funny. I'll go places.
Hold on. Last time I ran a clearing statement, you cut me off again too. Will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all 9 pod, shorts, boys, and beyond. Okay, on commence.
Yeah. It's okay, I got it. It's like I love access. I know how it's changed my life. I have like so much energy, and people like are interested about it and want to like what makes me tick kind of thing. And I that's what I have to share.
Cool.
Yeah. Cool. And so would you also be willing, when somebody asks you questions, to not give them an answer, but to give them another question?
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Because that's the thing. Like, we think that if someone asks us a question, that we have to give them an answer. And I know for me, when I've done that, it literally just gives them the place where they can come to a decision, a conclusion, a computation, or a judgment about me, about access, about whether or not it'll work for them. So what energy, space, and consciousness can you be to create you as the continual question in other people's universes for all eternity?
Got it. Thank you.
That doesn't allow that. We destroy and uncreate it all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a cool point. That keeps you as the guy in the corner of the room drinking the gin. Because you're not giving yourself away. You're continuing the mystery.
Yep. Continuing the mystery. Yeah.
And that's what it is. It's the mystery. It's the magic. It's magic.
Yeah. Because once you're not the mystery, that people go, okay, I have them figured out. They put you in the box and they don't have to look at you anymore. They put you in the closet in the corner in this nice labeled box where this is who Susanna is. Cool. I don't have to look at that ever again.
Wow.
So, yeah. That's how I live my life. It's like people try to figure me out and like, good luck.
Good luck. Yes.
That girl don't make no sense.
But I'm happy, and it's like, wow.
Exactly. And that makes no sense either.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sense plus happiness do not go together.
Yeah.
Cool. Can we have some more questions? And we only have about 8 minutes left, and I still want to talk about energetic congruency. So,
Oh, yeah.
Who's how do you say your name?
Kushbu? Is that?
Kushbu? I can see her. She had her hand up.
It's yeah. Hi.
Hi.
I have a question here. Like, what's happening is that people ask as to what access bars is, what access consciousness is, and energetically, yes, I'm doing the energy pulls with respect to that. But the moment I start telling them about what bars is, what access consciousness is, they take in the information, and after that, there's no result. Nobody's inquiring anymore. Nobody's asking for the classes. Nobody's even asking for a session or a taster. So that's kind of becoming an issue with me here.
Cool. So would you be willing for people to take what you have to offer when they can receive it, and not have it go to classes or anything like that? Because I know for me, about a year ago, this guy who I grew up with entered my life, and he was like, we started talking about bars and about access, and I set him up with there was a bars class in his area. He was going to go. I sent him Dane's book, and then he didn't go to the class, and I hadn't heard anything from him for the last year, until 2 days ago. He says, Brett, I've been meaning to talk to you. Let's talk. He's like, I've read Dane's book twice, and I'd love to get my bars run.
Wow.
Great.
Wow.
So it's like, and I know I've heard Gary tell stories where he's known somebody for 25 years, and just like after 25 years, they go, hey, what is this bars thing that you're doing? So would you be willing for someone to come and not choose?
Yeah.
So it's like every single choice that you make, like every single person that comes to one of your classes will open the door for thousands of other people to come, whether that person tells them about it or whether it's just energetic. Like you doing a class and saying, hey, I'm here, here's what I have to offer, will open the doors for the whole universe to contribute to you. And that might be hundreds of people showing up to your classes. That might be just 5 people showing up to your classes today, but hundreds of people showing up in 5 years.
Yeah.
So your choice today creates the future that will come to fruition for you. So all of the judgments, decisions, conclusions about what has worked, what hasn't worked, what's shown up, and what hasn't shown up, will you destroy and create all of that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yes.
Good, bad, pound, and puck online church buildings. Because your judgment and decision and conclusion that something that people aren't going beyond the tasters is what is creating that reality now and for the future.
Mm.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you so much, Brett.
Cool. You're welcome. And there's also that question that I think I gave last week. What future am I creating that I haven't acknowledged? So Kushbu, what future are you creating that you haven't acknowledged?
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Kind of makes you feel lighter looking at that.
Yeah. My body is kind of shivering right now.
Oh, cool.
Great.
So maybe you are creating something.
That's awesome. And then Michelle put a question in the box, which was about tasters and people coming in. Sometimes she doesn't have anyone at her tasters, but then she runs into people that say, hey, I've been meaning to come to your tasters. What would be fun ways that we can get out to the world with all that we have to offer? So you pretty much answered that, Brett. And it's like, also, like I talked about last week, Michelle, it's like, would you be willing to treat it like a dinner party? Would you be willing to treat it like the most special, beautiful thing in the entire world? And if doing it weekly, does not allow it to be that special and that much fun. It's like, how often would you have to do it for it to be that special and that much fun that you want to call all your friends because you were just bursting at your seams because you were so excited about the taster you're doing? If you're not that excited about your bars class or your taster, don't bother doing your bars class or your taster.
Yeah. Cool. That's brilliant. Yeah. And also on that subject of, I know she put like a set time and place. Usually when you have something that's like a weekly or bi-weekly, people will know that there's going to be a next one, so they can reason and justify why they aren't going to go to this one, and they'll put it off for the next time. Like, oh, I won't go this time, but I'll go next time. And then the next week comes and they're like, I'll miss this one because I can always go next week. And so would you be willing to make your tasters and bars classes and what you do irregular? Like, here's the next one. There may or may not be a next one. So you make sure you're at this one.
That's cool.
That's something I've heard Gary say before.
Blossom does that really well. She'll be like, this may be the last so-and-so class I ever do. And then a year later, there's something similar. And I'm like, oh, you're so awesome. So would you be willing to be demanded in that way? Would you be willing to make yourself the demanded item? Okay, so we have 1 minute on energetic congruency. I just want to at least get out a clearing. So energetic congruency is when things sort of match energetically. If things aren't energetically congruent, they don't actually work, and people are not interested in them. It's like if you're saying, I'm the greatest person ever, and you don't actually feel like the greatest person ever, that's being energetically incongruent with what you're saying. So most people that I see doing Access don't actually take what they're doing very seriously. They don't see the value in what they're putting out into the world totally, and therefore they're not energetically congruent with their Access business. So what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to be totally energetically congruent with your Access business for all eternity?
Yes.
Wow.
And everything that doesn't allow that, times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. It's like there's this thing out here that we're trying to make work, but it actually doesn't match our being. But what we've been taught in this world is that being a lawyer is a really good thing. So therefore, we should destroy us and go for try to make ourselves energetically congruent with being a lawyer. So now we have us. What Access Consciousness is doing is getting us to us. So it's like, what would it take for you to now go this way and try to match everything to you rather than matching you to it?
Mm-hmm.
So because to do the right thing or to be successful, we're taught to become energetically congruent with who we are.
Wow. Yeah. And that's like getting Access right, getting your Access business right, doing all the energy stuff right and not wrong, but you're probably going to end up doing it wrong anyway, just because that's who you are, right?
Exactly.
Wow. What if that's not the way we had to do it anymore?
Yeah, that would be a huge shift for humanity. Rosema's asking the clearing, can you please do the clearing again? Yes, I can. So what energy, space, and conscious, I'm not sure if I'm going to say the exact same one, but what energy, space, and consciousness can you and your body be to be energetically congruent with your business for all eternity? And for your business, actually, it should be, what energy, space, and consciousness can you be to make your business energetically congruent with your being for all eternity? And everything that doesn't allow that, times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, with nuts. Because if you look at it this way, okay, so look at the energy of being a lawyer. And sorry if any of you are lawyers and really enjoy yourselves, but okay, so we have a lawyer. Sorry, lawyer. Let's pretend that it doesn't work for you. Okay, so here's being a lawyer, and let's say this is what your dad wanted you to do and you don't want to do it. So that wouldn't match you. It would feel weak to you, but you've been taught that by doing something that makes you feel energetically weak, you're doing the right thing. So with your Access business, to make sure your Access business is the right thing, you make it weak and you don't take it seriously. So it's like, what would it take? And your being, if you're actually being your true being, that's strong. That's fucking potent. So what would it take for your Access business to have the potency and power of your very being?
Wow.
Cool. And everything that doesn't allow that times a godzillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Cool. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys,
That's
and beyond.
brilliant.
Thank you.
Tara's computer screen looks like it's being attacked by a fuzzy bunny.
Susanna says, wow. Okay, cool. Yeah. So it's like, don't get it backwards. You're the boss now. You're the maestro. Everything works around what you want. So everywhere you're trying to make your Access business work around what everybody else wants, which is Gary designed it so you couldn't do that. So then when you couldn't do that, the whole thing isn't everything it can be. Everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it all?
Yeah.
Right, wrong, good and bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, and beyonds. All right, well, we're out of time. Brett, do you have anything else to say?
That's a great way to end it. Just to totally fry everyone's brains. That's so cool. I'm gonna as soon as we get up this call, I'm gonna do a whole bunch of stuff with energetic congruency. So I'm excited.
Yeah, actually, I think I'll do a 1-part teleseries on energetic congruency.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I think that I need to talk more about this because I don't think people get this concept totally. So,
No.
yeah.
Cool. I did sign up for your being demanded one.
Oh, cool. Oh, cool. Yeah, thank you. Let's do a little plug here.
Yeah.
I signed up for that. I'm so excited.
I'm
Awesome.
so genuinely excited for that call too. I'm doing a telecall called "Are You Willing to Be Demanded?" because most people are not willing to be the most demanded item on the planet. And Gary, I texted Gary. Let me just read you. Sometimes I send him a text. He answers texts. He says he gets about 1 billion a day, and he seems to answer mine. So I'm really grateful for that. But he's always open to you guys too. As facilitators of Access Consciousness, he's not out of reach. So don't buy that he's out of reach. I've heard him give out his phone number in a class of 200 people before. He'll say it in class with the microphone. So don't ever think that he's above you or you can't call him. Gary is there for us, especially as a bars facilitator. He cares about you. So if you ever need to call him or contact him for anything, I'm happy to give you his number. I'm sure he'd be happy with me saying that too, because as long as it's for something not about trauma and drama, but about creating your life and creating your business, he will be happy to help you with that. If it's trauma and drama, forget about it. But if you're willing to ask him about your life, he won't answer me if it's trauma and drama. But I just said to him, that I was transcribing our class, and I said, Gary, you're saying to me in the class that I have dismissed all the things I have to offer because I don't want to be demanded. And I think that if I am demanded, I have to give myself up. So that's what he said to me. And then he texted me some clearings and stuff like that, which you'll have to get on the call to get the clearings. But he said that if you do decide that you don't want to be demanded and you don't want to be aware and present and on and working hard and being everything that you are all the time, you will not be able to create your life. It will always stay small because you're not willing to be everything that you are because you've decided that means giving yourself up. That doesn't actually mean giving yourself up. That actually means creating your life. So it's kind of misidentified. So I'm really excited for that telecall because I have a lot of good info on that, because we all have to be willing to be everything that we are. We can't be sitting around anymore and being, half-ass versions of ourselves. It's time for us to stand up and be the leaders that we are.
Yeah, and that's everything that I've been looking at for myself recently. So I'm so glad you're doing this call.
Cool. Thanks, Brett.
And I know I was even in that class where he said that to you.
Yeah. Oh, you were. Oh, yes, you totally were. That was pragmatic psychology. Yeah.
Yes. Day one morning.
Cool.
I'm going to share your class. So I look for it on Facebook and I'll share it.
Okay, thanks, Jackie. I'll repost it again. It's only a $20 telecall too, which is like dirt cheap. So yeah, I tried to make it accessible to everyone because I really would like people to start getting the value of themselves, because we are all so fucking weird and so different, and none of us make any sense. And it's time for us to really see the beauty in that now and do whatever it takes to get that out into the world.
Amen. Amen, sister.
Hallelujah.
Oh, cool.
All right. Well,
Wow.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thanks,
you,
everybody.
Brett, for all of your brilliance.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Thank you. Thank you for
Really awesome. Lots of value.
Cool. Awesome. Yeah.
Yay.
And we'll have to continue something with this. Brett and I maybe could have a meeting later, you and I, and we can look at what else we can create with us working with bars facilitators, because this has been really, really fun and expansive, and I would love to keep this energy rolling into the future. So
Cool. Me
Cool.
too. This is
It's a
awesome.
nice combination.
Oh, thanks, Cass.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we're two dorks. Two smart dorks.
Smart.
You're fun dorks.
Yeah. It's funny.
Thank you.
Cool. You're
It's
very
funny. I
welcome.
love how we just go like we'll start with one thing and then the other person will add something and the other person will add something and we just keep going back and forth like it's so fun.
Totally.
It is fun. Thank
Yeah.
you so
I love
much.
working with Brett because
Thank
he's
you.
so smart and he sees everything that I can't see.
Thank you. I feel the same way about you.
Well, that's good then. Awesome. Okay, well, let's
Cool.
stop kissing and loving each other and get on with our day. But I love you guys all so much, and this has been a wonderful series. It's created more than I could have imagined a little 2-part bar series would create. And let's just keep contributing energy, keep pulling energy, and use the energy of this call and of me and Brett and everybody on this call to add to your business. We're always here energetically. We're willing to be demanded.
Yay. Oh, there's just one more plug for you guys, since you're BFs and all, at least BFs and CFs. There is one more office hours today for
the
figuring
office
out the Access website. If you haven't done that, I highly suggest it, because after this one, there aren't going to be any more. So it's at 4 p.m. Pacific time. And if you go on the Bars Facilitator Facebook group, there's all sorts of links for how to get on that and information. It's everywhere on there. So I would highly suggest it. I won't be the one doing it today, but it's been super helpful to actually, it's on Zoom, so you can get on video and share your screen and go over it with the facilitator, and they'll help you to the best of their ability to get cracking with the new website, because it's so awesome and it's so fun. And once we get through all the bugs, it's going to be so much easier and so much more beautiful than the old system.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Cool.
Julia,
Yeah.
I tried to sign up to be a bars facilitator. I'm not as yet. I've got my 3 already, and it said the system was down and I had to wait until December.
Yeah.
You do,
Uh-huh.
yeah, because
Okay.
the system is down because they're transitioning over, and that's going to take some time. But I think it's back up tomorrow.
Yeah, December 1st, you should be able to. And if not, then it'll be a couple of days after that.
But I can still be on the office calls and all of that, correct?
Not if you don't have an
not if you don't
access
have a
profile on the
yeah.
website. This is
Oh,
just people who are on the website.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Cool.
Okay, that's a good point. So office hours.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.